20% of Americans believe Bible is the literal word of God, a record low. According to a recent Gallup poll, only 20% of Americans believe that the Bible is the literal word of God, a historic low. The last time a poll such as this was conducted was in 2017, which at the time found 24% support for biblical literalism. Americans' belief in biblical literalism peaked around 40% in the early 80s, specifically between 1980 and 1984. The study also shows that Americans' perception of the Bible as a collection of fables, legends, and history and moral precepts recorded by man has increased over time. Almost half, meaning 49% of America, now views the Bible as inspired by God, not to be taken literally. The Protestant denomination has the most believers, of which around 30% agree that the Bible is entirely accurate, which is the largest group to believe that in biblical literalism. Only 15% of Catholics agree that the Bible should be taken as literally as the Word of God. In the 2017 study, it was noted that highly religious people with the least amount of formal education were more likely to believe in the Bible word for word. The study, which has been conducted since 1976, indicates an overall decline in the religious attitudes in the U.S. adult population. These include, quote, declines in formal identification with a religion, self-reported membership in a church, self-reported religious service attendance, personal importance of religion, and a decline in the belief of God.
I'm so pessimistic because I'm
no.
20%, 20%, like, and it used to be higher. 20% of the people of the most powerful country in the world, 20% of the people who vote, and the result of their voting determines foreign policy on a global scale in a way that no other country does. Like these 20% of the direction of the direction of which the United States is heading and how it leading the rest of the planet in that direction is based on people that think this book is literally the word of God. 20%, 1 in 5 Americans think word by word words of the Bible is literally the word of God. Unbelievable. How are we still here? Like, we just had pictures from space that that is revealing some of the hidden secrets of the universe in such awe-inspiring ways. We're discovering so many things about the universe, and some of us are still stuck in 2,000 years, like based on the mindset of people that lived 2,000 years ago. Like, how is like some of humanity growing this fast, and the other part of humanity is still stuck? And these are not people in the Middle East. These are not people that are living, I don't know, in backward countries. This is supposed to be the world's superpower. 20%. Sorry, this is supposed to be good news, and I'm turning it into bad news. But I'm glad that a lot of you in the live chat agree with me. Like, a lot of you in the live chat were like, yeah, 20, what the hell, 20%? Yeah, like, yeah, look, still too many. Peter saying still too many. Secular writing is saying still way too high, but damn, that's good news. Doorknob is saying 80-20 rule still significant, but a more normal level of significance. Okay, 20% is still too so many people. Yeah. What do you think, Susie? Am I being too? Oh, Kenny's saying how many of that 20% actually read it? Very
that's
low.
A good question.
Yeah, basically 20%. Yeah.
I think so. I was reading. So this was produced by Gallup, so really authoritative polling agency, and I think they made a really good point at the end of their segment about this. So they said Americans' interpretation of the Bible are important because the Bible is often used as a basis for policy positions on moral and values issues, including such things as abortion and gay and lesbian relations. Some more conservative Protestant groups use a literal interpretation of passages from the New Testament as a basis for their beliefs that women should not be in positions of religious leadership in churches. Gallup's data show that the use of literal interpretation of the Bible this is the most important point. Gallup's data show that the use of a literal interpretation of the Bible as the basis or justification for social policy positions will likely resonate with only a declining minority of the overall US population. I thought that was a very significant point. What do you think about that, Armin?
Yeah, I was distracted by this comment. Look at this one.
Winnie the Pooh is saying, this is why we need Chinese re-education camps. Well, that's a bit extreme.
Yeah, it's Winnie the Pooh is satire. Winnie the Pooh is Xi Jinping.
Yeah. No, but what do you, Armin, what do you think about the declining importance about this kind of belief? So as much as you're depressed that it is still 20%, the good news is that this is declining. So as sad as you are, if things keep tracking, it will lessen, and that will greatly impact the American domestic landscape, particularly in regards to the things we're dealing with lately.
The key word here is if, right? You say if things keep going in this way. And I think too many atheists and secular activists think that this is a given, okay? But it's not, okay? May I remind you that the great Enlightenment thinkers of the 1800s, 17 and 1800s, thought that religion is almost over, like within, their generation, okay? They would have been, I think a lot of them would have been shocked to come at this time and be like, what the hell? You guys are still dealing with this nonsense, right? So don't be that optimistic, because too much optimism will lead into complacency and lack of activism. And as much as this progress has been made because of the hard work of a lot of activists, and time is not the only factor. Your activity is also a factor here. And as soon as the problem is that the other side is not just like laying down and taking this, right? The other side understands that they're losing the demographic battle, and they're doing everything they can to reverse this. And given how much control they're having over U.S. politics, and they're increasing that dominance, they took in over the Supreme Court, and they might be able to eventually change the process of voting for them to take other branches of the government as well. But the most important part is that they eventually will be able to control the education system if politically. I know what we're saying is like they're losing the demographic battle, but the conservatives and the Christians are winning the political battle, even though they're losing the demographic battle. But eventually the political battle would lead to a control over the education system, and a control over the education system will lead into the winning the demographic battle. So if you're complacent, this could be easily reversed. So you need to keep fighting. You need to keep not just winning the demographic battle, but also become politically active and build communities and get together and unite and organize. Okay, secular activists need to become more aggressive in their fights for a political battle for the sake of secularism. This is very important. Okay. So don't look at news like this and think like this is a given, because a lot of liberals think like time is on their side. They have this misunderstanding of history, and they look at history, they think like things are just supposed to become more liberal as time passes, okay? But that has not always been the case, okay? We have a lot of examples of things going backwards, okay? And if you're not careful, things can easily slide backwards in such a head-spinning fast way that you be like, we have plenty of examples like that in history. So yeah, that's my warning.
I think that's like a really important point, and I appreciate that you've been emphasizing that a lot lately. Like, we can't take these things for granted. Like, there's a quote, and I'm gonna butcher it, and I think it's by Thomas Jefferson, but he basically talks about like, once you have your rights, once you have your liberties, it is your responsibility and your duty to fight to preserve them for as long as you have them. And I think that's something that people forget too often.
Yeah, I think what happened in the United States when it comes to women's rights, right? right to abortion is going to serve us as a reminder, because a lot of people think like you're supposed to fight to for rights and get those rights, okay? And they think like it's mission accomplished once you get those rights, right? They don't realize that this is a never-ending battle. Once you get the rights, now your job is to continue protecting those rights, because the rights that you have suffered so much and tried have given so sacrificed so much into getting can be taken away from you like this, right? So you have to then, after you get them, you have to keep guard to maintain them.
Very well put.
Thank you.
Do
All right.
you have everything ready for the next news?
Wait, oxymoron.
Oxymoron is saying this is bad news for India and Africa. Missionary organizations will be outsourced.
True. Yes. Yeah, it's a curse. No, I agree. This is a curse, like exporting Christianity and Islam to India and Africa is a curse upon these lands.
No, it definitely is. I would never argue that. I just feel like they're already outsourced. I don't know if this would particularly fuel it further.
I think if they get an upper hand, they will. I think they will use
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.